Okay, I do see that we're live on YouTube. It is showing me that we're also live on Facebook. So I will check one more time here before we get kicked off and started. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this going. I am seeing that people are starting to tune in with us. In the interest of time and the short broadcast, I want to begin with our housekeeping and move into our candidate that we have today. Now, good afternoon, evening, or morning, whenever you are tuning into this broadcast, this candidate broadcast that we've held. We've had several since really 11 a.m. today. This is our final one, and we have invited folks from the county positions of sheriff, county commissioner, and state, House and Senate as well to be a part of the broadcast. Anyone that was not on here means that they did not, were not able to make it work or did not respond to us to be on here today. And so I do want to reiterate that there may be other candidates that you do not meet on our broadcast, but they are still out there. So make sure that you are getting informed before you head to the polls. With that, I want to invite you to like our page, follow it if you've not already done so here on Facebook, to connect with us on all social media platforms, and particularly on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you can get alerted when we go live in the future, as we always do on a weekly basis, with updates from our city and new members and other resources that are out there for you. Now, the comment section is available to you to enter any comments that you would like for us to see, whether it's a good afternoon remarks, thoughts on what's being shared your way, or any questions. Know that we do have some pre-submitted questions that were sent to us through our policy group and everything. These questions were not shared with our candidates in advance, so they are hearing it for the very first time as you are hearing it as well. And what they will be doing is providing us with an opening statement. They'll be answering these questions rapid fire and then provide us with a closing statement as well. I'll be sure to include the candidate's website for you to be able to go to and learn more about their campaign directly. With that, I'm very excited to have with me Jean. Thank you for being on here this afternoon.
Juliet, thank you. And thank you for the Westminster Chamber for inviting me.
Absolutely. So Jean is seeking office on the Adams County side as a candidate for sheriff. And with that, I will turn it over to him to give us a quick introduction or quick statements to introduce our talk for today and his candidacy further.
Thank you, Juliet. I'm Gene Claps. I'm your Democratic candidate for Adams County Sheriff. I was born and raised here in Adams County, and I've been married for over 38 years with 3 children and 5 grandchildren. I have been a business owner in Adams County almost my entire life, where I still own several businesses. I've worked for the Adams County Sheriff's Office originally as a posse member, as a volunteer, where I rode on horseback and did patrol functions in a car. And I then started full-time and worked for over 22 years with our Sheriff's Office, and worked in almost every division, where I was a patrolman. I was a homicide detective, a sergeant in our traffic and canine units, and then worked up through the chain of command and was a commander, a captain, and then eventually a division chief, where I was responsible for over 318 employees and over a $42 million budget. My commitment to Adams County is very sincere. And being part of Adams County and part of the community, I want to make sure that our county is moving forward and moving in a direction that best suits our community and our community's needs.
Thank you so much for those opening remarks, Jean. We do have Brian Head on here with us, and Brian gave us a quick thank you for these informative broadcasts. Thank you for tuning in with us since the morning. We're going to jump right into our 40-second answer type of questions. I'll be displaying them on the screen and reading them for a candidate to allow him a chance to be able to turn around and answer it for us. The first question, of course, is what goals Jean has for the department.
Goals, there's many, and it's hard to cover in 45 seconds. I think more than anything, we need to reconnect with our community. We need to collaborate and work with our community to be part of the solution, to problem solve and work to deal with the issues at hand with reducing crime, getting involved in reducing homelessness, drug abuse, to be able to work and promote responsible gun ownership. And not only that, but also back into our jail to reduce and to work on recidivism, where we can let people out of our facility and have more faith in them becoming productive members of our community and to be able to provide for themselves and their families.
Thank you for that. We're going to move into a few other questions based on the answer that you've just provided. As it relates to crime specifically, since rates are exploding across Colorado, how would you work to reverse these trends and keep our community safe?
Well, you're right. Crime rate has exploded here in Colorado and in Adams County. Not only to the community, but also with me, where I've been a victim of several crimes just since I started my campaign over 22 months ago. We need to really focus on that collaboration with the community and be partners and develop that partnership with them. There's so many people, as I'm out knocking on doors, that are not even reporting crimes that are occurring. And the ones that do report the crimes are very frustrated with our jurisdiction in Adams County of the lack of response or the failure to even respond. So we need to fix that. We need to work with our community. We need to work collectively with the other agencies and other jurisdictions, along with the judicial system, to have more teeth behind what we're doing and be able to hold people more accountable.
So along the lines of working with our jurisdictions and others that are affected by this as well or have a direct role, what would you do to work with police chiefs within the county to provide better public service?
Well, and I've already started some of those conversations because I've been campaigning for over 22 months. And I have attended every fair, festival, and event to include city council meetings. Where I've been able to speak in front of city councils. I've been able to talk to the police chiefs, their command staff, and deputy chiefs, and various different officers across Adams County and in the Front Range. Building that collaboration starts with communication and being able to work together to get our sheriff's office back in line to be a leader in Adams County, to be a leader in Colorado for being productive and being and working with the community to resolve these issues, to start task forces, to get boots back on the ground and to recruit staff so we are fully staffed to be able to engage the issues that we're dealing with. And that starts from externally and internally in the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm. Now, what motivates you to take on this role?
That's a good question. I've been motivated for this role for my entire career. I worked, like I was explaining earlier, I worked for 4 different administrations. I've seen good. I've seen the not so good. I've seen the opportunity that we have disconnected with our communities and our community groups, and which makes me inspired more to get out there and work with the communities to be able to provide a proactive law enforcement agency that really listens is the key to this, because not only am I running for this office, but I am also a lifetime community member here in Adams County. And it is important that it's functioning in the correct direction.
What do you feel is the duty of the sheriff's office?
Well, the duty of the sheriff's office obviously is dictated by statutory requirements and law. I think more than anything, our duty in the sheriff's office is to provide public safety. Public safety comes many different ways, but to get out there and be able to provide public safety, to be able to work with our community collectively. The sheriff's office, the sheriff's role is also the chief fire warden or chief fire marshal that's in charge of wildfires or fire hazards here in Adams County. We're also required to maintain and uphold our jail in our jail division to really work and also maintain our records keeping. So there's many different functions and duties of the sheriff. But more than anything, for me, it's about that connection with the community and that collaboration with the community to be able to work together as a partnership.
How will you work to make deputies better suited to handle people with mental illnesses?
I think that really starts with training and education and leadership, the leadership that guide them, that doesn't just talk the talk, but walks the walk. I was part of our mental health unit that we started up in the jail that was kind of a brainstorm from Doug Darr, and then went to the next administration, Mike McIntosh, where I was tasked with putting and finishing the mental health unit and to provide training for our deputies that we would recruit for that area. It really came down to a big thing for me is that when we put together programs to be able to help our deputies be successful in working within the mental health unit, was the ability that we had to be able to provide training for mental health first aid, for CIT training, for various different responder type trainings to educate them where they understood what they were dealing with and they understood the direction that they needed to go or would go. So when we started that mental health unit, when it came down to the time, we provided, or I provided through the jail division, it was about 40 hours in one class. I think altogether was about 60 hours of training. By the time we were done, and I asked for people to work in that unit, I did not have to tell anybody or give anybody any direction to work in that unit. I had double the amount of volunteers that volunteered to work in the mental health unit because of their experience, their knowledge, and education that they gained to better themselves.
How would you work to keep incarceration rates down?
While I was the division chief, I actually started on some of those processes. And what we need to do is work internally inside of our jail to reduce and help reduce recidivism. We need to not give out free money, but to give programs and provide programs to the incarcerated folks that can get out and start learning how to write job applications, how to write resumes. Where are they going to go for work? How can we reduce recidivism? I've actually already started talking to business owners and talking to a lot of different business owners that are more than willing to get involved in programs of hiring individuals right out of jail to be able to give them the opportunity to provide for themselves and to be able to provide for their families without being a burden on our society.
I'm muted. Thank you for that answer. This next question asks, what type of leadership you will bring to the sheriff's office?
Well, another good question. I think overall I fit into that servanthood because my commitment to the county and the people in Adams County. My leadership has really grown a lot over the years in my adult life. As a business owner, a very successful business owner, I have also worked my way through the chain of command and have been promoted by numerous different sheriffs that promoted me from testing and the promotion process to move up in rank to become a division chief. And I think I have proven my leadership skill and my ability to mentor, guide, and train individuals for the future and to be able to succeed where we end up leaving off.
Do you consider yourself to have good morals and integrity? Why?
I do. I believe that I do have a lot of morals and integrity, and that starts with the honesty and integrity that I have shown throughout my life. My commitment and some of the examples would be the length of my marriage, my commitment to this campaign of getting out here and campaigning diligently for the 22 months that I've been out here. I'm not willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up. I'm willing to fight for what's best for our community and for the Adams County Sheriff's Office.
What is the number one thing that needs to be changed in the sheriff's office?
I think we need to put some stability back in the sheriff's office, and with leadership, stability will come. We need to refocus on policies and procedures that actually give direction. Law enforcement is really structured and needs direction, and they need that influence from their leadership from number one position down that guides them and directs them to be able to work with our community, and then to add that diversity and inclusion to hiring practices, which really would represent our community and do a better job overall in that area.
And then I think we have time for one final question. I will pull that up on our screen, and that's many law enforcement agencies in the area are understaffed and recruiting qualified officers is becoming increasingly difficult. How would you address this problem?
Well, and I've actually already started working on some of that. Day one, I would reach out to almost everyone that has left in the last 3.5 to 4 years and start recruiting those individuals back. They have the institutional knowledge, they have the background to be able to come back in and put boots on the ground for us so that we can get out quicker and be able to work proactively in our community and fulfill those shortage in staffing. Not to mention to recruit from the military, from the colleges, from other institutions that we can get out there and really start focusing on that diversity and inclusion that the sheriff's office needs to match the makeup of our community.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. There is a campaign page. I'm going to flash it on the screen. It's also included in the comment section for all of you that are tuned in. This discussion was to get you interested in learning more about each of these candidates a little bit further, and it's designed to be a quick conversation so you can glean their perspective on a variety of issues or topics, and then go and study up on them, their qualifications, why they're seeking office, etc. This is a starting point. Follow their website and learn more about their candidacy before you go out to the poll and vote here in November. And with that, Jean, I've thrown at you a number of questions. I want to throw it back to you to give me a couple of minutes toward a closing statement that you would like to share with people.
And Juliet, thank you for that opportunity. I've been at this now, like I said, about 22 months. I've knocked on over 4,500 doors. And in that 4,500 doors personally, I have gone to various different areas across the county. Adams County is a very diverse county. I have worked with many different groups. I've been out and worked with our Sikh community. I've worked with our Hmong community. I have worked with our Hispanic community, to include even being endorsed by the Adams County Hispanic Latino Initiative. I've also worked with various different groups and their issues that have been brought to light from the lack of patrol, the lack of law enforcement being responsive to them. And I truly am here to work with our community and fix and bridge that gap so we can come together and provide a service for our community that helps our community become successful and be able to provide for their families in the future. So I am here running hard. I appreciate the time. And remember, vote Gene Claps for Sheriff.
Thank you so much, Jean. And thank you to all of you that are tuned in with us, have been since the start, maybe popped on and off. You can watch these at your convenience. Always reach out to the candidates and learn more about their campaign, of course, after this. And hit the share button if you have not already, so others in your network can learn more about them as well. and can be informed voters at the poll. I want to thank Gene, of course, for being on here with me, taking some time out of his afternoon to be able to speak to our group and answer some of the questions and share a little bit more about himself. I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you after elections, I'm sure in November, if not before. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much for the time.